Hello and welcome to the online information sessions for the CSULB research programs BUILD, MARC and RISE. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. I hope this is a first step towards a great undergraduate research experience here at CSULB and a first step towards a PhD and a research career. My name is Alex Garbonati and I am the Outreach Coordinator for the CSULB BUILD program, and I'll be taking you through some of the most important program information you'll want to know before you apply to these programs. Today we're going to talk about 3 research programs for undergraduate students called BUILD, MARC and RISE. These programs all pair you with a faculty mentor to be on a research team with the goal of preparing you for advanced degrees in your field and eventually a PhD in any health-related field. These programs are almost identical. You'll get a research training experience with each of them or an internship. You'll be prepared for advanced degrees in your field with all of them. There are a few differences. MARC focuses more on students eligible for honors, and MARC and RISE focus more on students in the biomedical fields of natural sciences and mathematics, engineering, and psychology. BUILD does not require students are eligible for honors, and it also serves students in the behavioral sciences in the colleges of liberal arts and health and human services, in addition to the biomedical colleges. Other than these and a few details that we'll get into later, you can expect very similar things from these programs. So when you hear our student testimonial from one program, or when you see a video from one program, please know that this can represent an experience from all 3 programs. With that in mind, I'm going to show you a quick video that we show to students when they're joining the BUILD program. I think it's a really good introduction for what you can expect when you join these research programs.
You're here with us today to start off a very special journey called BUILD. You will become great researchers by the time you finish BUILD. But on top of that, when you leave BUILD, you will also have a supportive community of mentors, of colleagues, and friends who care about you and will stay with you to make sure that you achieve your goals.
My mentor is Dr. Barbara Grossman-Thompson. She's doing a research on Nepali women and their health. I joined BUILD because I'm interested in research that relates with health at a community level.
I think the BUILD program is an amazing opportunity and an amazing support mechanism for students to really make sure or ensure that they do succeed both in their academic pursuits and their research goals.
I work in the additive manufacturing of artificial tissues, which is also known as bioprinting. It's actually a cool concept. You can develop tissues, organs, just from biomaterials, stem cells, and an actual printer.
You guys are going to be the next generation of interdisciplinary scientists. We believe that you're going to advance scientific knowledge and technology that contributes to the improvement of every individual in the U.S., as well as make a global impact.
Through the experiences I've had in the learning community class that the program provides, I found a passion and a support group that pushed me in the right direction towards research.
A big part of BUILD is mentorship from the faculty and the time that the students get to do research. But at the same time, we also provide professional developments. These are skills that help them to become more competitive when they apply for graduate school, which is another goal of the BUILD program, is to help students to pursue PhD in the health-related research.
I'm going to be going to a PhD program at UCI under the Interdepartmental Neuroscience program. Thank you for the BUILD program, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without BUILD and all of their support.
First, let's make sure that you're eligible for these programs. What are the requirements? Well, you have to be a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident to apply. You need to be a full-time CSULB student during the entirety of your time with the program. We are looking for students in any major from the colleges of natural sciences and mathematics, engineering, health and human services, or liberal arts. Very important, you'll need to also be interested in pursuing a PhD and a research career. I'll go into detail for the different levels later, but we are accepting applications from sophomores and juniors to be in these programs during their junior and senior year. We define your status as how many years you have before graduation as of June. So students with 2 years before graduation as of June are considered sophomores. Students with 1 year remaining as of June are considered juniors. Sophomores can apply directly to the joint Build, MARC, and RISE upper division application with no previous experience. Juniors will need to have at least 1 full semester of research experience before this June to be eligible for the Build Fellows program. I'll talk about how current juniors can gain research experience later in this video. While freshmen cannot apply directly to Build, MARC, or RISE until they are sophomores, they can apply to the UROP program, CSULB's Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program. This is a similar program in that it offers paid research experience to lower division students. These students can then apply to enter these programs from UROP the following year. Unfortunately, seniors are not eligible to apply to these programs because you need at least a full year here at CSULB to be eligible. But seniors can still gain research experience as an unpaid research assistant. They can choose from the same pool of possible mentors and gain valuable research experience that is critical to bolster their application for graduate or PhD programs. I'll also cover more on that later. Lastly, Build, MARC, and RISE are diversity initiatives, meaning that NIH, or the National Institutes of Health, has decided to invest in this campus because of the great diversity that we have here. By investing in CSULB, NIH hopes to support those traditionally underrepresented in their fields, but these programs are open to all students here at CSULB, no matter your background. We define diversity as your diversity of experience. Diversity is not just race or ethnicity. So, especially in your personal statements, make sure to touch on what makes you unique, maybe circumstances that you've gone through, and what shows that diversity of experience and how you can contribute that to your research. Now let's talk about the benefits of these programs. First and foremost, we're very lucky to have these programs here at CSULB. Research internships or training programs can be very competitive and they're usually unpaid. So the fact that we have so many programs offering paid research training is really exciting. The most important part of these programs is the mentored research training that you'll receive. This research is critical for later applying to master's programs, straight to a PhD program, or for jobs in research after you graduate. Many labs won't even take you unless you intern or already have research experience. So you might ask yourself, how do I get someone to take a chance on me? Well, with these programs, that obstacle is already cleared. You'll have the research experience that you'll need to open up doors later down the line. You get to take what you're learning in the classes and apply it to a real research project. But even more than that, these programs can really focus your time here at CSULB. Many students love the research they're doing so much, they find a career path that will guide them for years to come. These programs not only expose you to research, but they also open the doors you'll need to walk through to have a successful research career. You also get a faculty mentor. That mentor has a wealth of knowledge and experiences that they can share with you about being a professional in your field. They are also there to guide you so that one day you'll be running your own research projects. You also have conference travel opportunities where we'll send you to present your research at some of the various professional conferences. We send our students to conferences in places such as Salt Lake City, Utah, and Phoenix, Arizona. So this is a great opportunity for you to practice presenting your research and bond with your fellow students. You also get priority registration to help you along with your academic goals. And one other important note, if you are in UHP, or the University Honors Program, these programs can count towards your honors thesis, so you don't have to do 2 projects. Another very important component of these programs are the learning communities. These are 1 unit, once a week, hour-long courses if you're in Build, or weekly meetings for MARC and RISE that will focus on your development as a researcher and as a professional. Since advanced degrees is one of the major goals of these programs, we're going to make sure that you're prepared for everything when application time comes. We're going to help you with your personal statements, GRE prep, which is the test you'll need to take to get into grad school. We'll do mock interviews with you to help you with your interview skills. These programs will make sure you're ready for everything you need to do when you pursue those advanced degrees. There are also workshops, guest speakers, and professionals aimed to inspire you and show you what types of careers you can have in research. Peer mentoring is also another really important component of these learning communities or bi-weekly meetings. Upper division students and graduate assistants will be there to help you through everything from the perspective of having just done what you'll be doing. Once you enter this world of research, you'll find that a lot of other opportunities are available to you, like scholarships. We'll make sure you know what's available. The NIH and NSF fellowships are 2 of those opportunities and will help you with those applications when the time comes. Last but not least, you actually get paid to get the research experience you'll need going forward for your research career. We pay students because we know having an income is essential for so many students' livelihood. We also don't want you to have another job. These programs, combined with your schoolwork, will take up a lot of your time. You'll need to maintain your status as a good student, and having another part-time job is not recommended. You will receive a monthly stipend or hourly salary for your research time, depending on which program you are in. Because this is technically more like a scholarship, it can affect your financial aid if you do receive it. Every case is different, so you'll need to talk to your financial aid advisor to see how this affects you. Partial tuition support is also available for some of these programs. You and your mentor will also be funded to support your research and buy new research supplies. Your travel to professional conferences is fully funded by these programs. Some of these programs also offer fee reductions for your GREs and grad school applications. I'm not going to give you a final number for funding, but when you combine the salary or stipend, tuition support, and other funding sources, it is very substantial. If you are accepted into these programs, the investment that NIH or the National Institutes of Health and CSULB is making into making you a fully trained and qualified researcher is huge. We're talking a lot about research, so I wanted to talk briefly about what kinds of research you might be doing in these programs. As a researcher, you're trying to expand on collective human knowledge. You're finding new and better ways to do things, but this can mean completely different things depending on what department you're from or where you choose to do your research. These programs are all funded by NIH or the National Institutes of Health, which is how we are able to pay you. That also means that all of your research experience with your mentors will be related to health in some way, although it's a very loose definition of health related. We even have such topics as marine biology and computer engineering, so I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to see how many topics actually qualify as health related. We have over 100 mentors, most of them right here at CSULB, so that means over 100 different research topics you have to choose from. So after watching this video, I encourage you to visit this link, csulb.edu/buildmentors, and take a look at some prospective mentors to see who you might want to work with. This webpage is a searchable database of Build, MARC, and RISE mentors with descriptions, contact information, even if this mentor is accepting students. It's a great resource to find a CSULB mentor for when you apply to these programs or to gain research experience as a junior so you can be eligible for the Build Fellows program. It's also a great resource to find a mentor as a senior for an unpaid research assistantship. This link and a lot of other really important information is available on the downloadable PDF entitled Info Session Fact Sheet. The application asks you to identify 3 potential mentors you'd like to work with. All the programs strongly encourage that you contact those potential mentors to see if they'd be a good fit for you. You'll be working with these professors for 1 to 2 years, so it's a good idea to make sure that mentee-mentor relationship will work for both of you. We've created a few mentor videos, which we're going to show now, highlighting the following CSULB faculty and research mentors. They are really short 2-minute videos that will show you what it's like to be a student researcher in each of the 4 colleges that we serve here at CSULB. Feel free to skip some of these videos if they don't apply to you, but I would encourage you to at least watch the video that is from your college.
My name is Pannada Marayong. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, and I'm also a build mentor. My research area is robotics with specializations in haptic system and human-machine collaborative interfaces. So what a haptic system is, these are the special type of robotic interfaces that can display force and or tactile information to the user. In my particular research, I use haptic technologies to be used for rehabilitation. I use sensor system and tactile feedback system to provide sensory feedback that can be used for motor learning study and rehabilitation of persons with lower limb amputation, and also in gait rehabilitation of post-stroke patients. Student involvement is a really important part of my lab. I work with undergraduate and graduate students across different disciplines inside and outside of engineering. They get involved in various stages of the design process, going from idea generations, developing prototypes, tests, and then system evaluation. I like the fact that I can be a role model. Hopefully they get to see some of that and be able to see themselves going forward with their studies and their career path.
Hi, I'm Kelly Young, and I'm a professor in the Department of Biological Sciences, and I'm a BUILD mentor. Students are involved in every aspect of my research. They collect data, they run all the assays, they analyze results, they write up their results and present them. I'm a reproductive biologist, and I'm really interested in gonadal function. You've heard of babies born in the spring. Well, the way that this reproduction is actually timed is that the individual can actually assess and measure day length, or the number of hours of light in the day. So for example, if it's an individual who breeds in the summer, then long day lengths would stimulate the ovaries. So they would be producing eggs and estrogen, which is a key ovarian hormone. And short day lengths, typical of winter, would actually shut it down. So how does this shut down ovary turn back on? And we're interested in the intra-ovarian pathways of how that happens, the genes and the proteins that actually make this happen within the ovary itself. Most of our students here at Cal State Long Beach are putting themselves through school. And one thing that BUILD allows is, instead of working outside of the university, they're actually getting a paycheck from being in the laboratory. So they're able to combine their need to put themselves through school with their passion and excitement for doing science. And one other thing that BUILD, I think, provides to our students is a second family here on our very large campus. And you gain a home in the laboratory, but BUILD also provides another place where people know you and they support you. And I think that this sense of family and community is pervasive throughout BUILD, and that students are so well supported, not only by faculty and administrators, but by their peers as well.
My name is Dr. Halim. I am an assistant professor in psychology. I have an active research lab at the psychology department here at Cal State Long Beach. One study, we look at children's developing gender identities, and we're trying to examine whether preschoolers, where they learn that being a girl means looking very pretty and looking beautiful, and for a boy, how they come to value being very physically strong and independent. And generally what we look at is how gender identity and racial or ethnic identity, how those things affect children's development and outcomes. Students are involved in every step of the way. Without students, the research wouldn't get done. They help do the study from start to finish. Some students help create the studies. We'll think of ideas together, come up with hypotheses. I find also that students feel more of a part of the academic community here when they join a research lab. I think our school is very large, and so sometimes it's easy to feel lost or not feel connected to school. But being in a research lab gives you some classmates that you get to know really, really well, because you're in the trenches together doing research, spending lots of hours together. And so it gives you another sense of identity as well, and helps you connect to other students at Long Beach. And then I think finally it can help inform your own career decisions. It helps inform what you want to do with your life, and it can provide meaningful experiences, and hopefully that should help students in the future as well.
I'm Josh Cotter. I'm an exercise physiologist in the Department of Kinesiology, and I'm a BUILD mentor. My research deals with basically how muscle grows and how we can do that, and how muscle shrinks and how we can prevent that. And ultimately that has many implications for health, wellness, and even sport performance. Traditionally, ever since I've had, even specifically undergraduate students, they've been involved in the whole research process from the very beginning, where we brainstorm new ideas for research projects, to running exercise interventions or collecting data, to writing up the data into a manuscript, and of course disseminating the data to journals for publication or to conferences where they get to meet colleagues that are doing other similar type activities. They're involved from the very beginning to the end, and I think it's a very rich experience for them. The biggest thing I enjoy about working with student researchers is the change they make from when I first see them and they step into my office to the special day that comes up where I see them present either in front of a committee or at a conference, and they're just so confident and well-spoken about the data that they're presenting, it just makes it all worthwhile. This program is really allowing students to be involved in creating the information that we actually teach in courses. It's a program that's not available everywhere. And I think in many universities, undergraduates don't even have a small notion that they can be involved in something like research projects. It provides a really great opportunity for these students to get this early exposure to research that for most people doesn't get to happen until graduate school.
CSULB is a really unique place in that we have a number of different research programs here on campus. So if you don't meet all the requirements for our programs or you're not accepted, there are still other opportunities for you to do research here. All the CSULB research programs are listed on the CSULB website, and that URL is on the downloadable fact sheet under Other Research Opportunities. The number one thing you can do is try to get an unpaid volunteer research assistantship. This is the old-fashioned way of getting an internship independent of a program. You approach a professor that you really want to work with, do some research on their research so you can talk to them about it. A great place to look for mentors is the BUILD website under the mentor directory, because we have a list of over 100 mentors and all of them are already looking for students. This is also a great option for juniors and seniors that might not be eligible to apply to these programs. Another option is LS-AMP, which is for students in STEM careers to get paid research experience. It's somewhat similar to our program, but it does not have a health focus. So if you're interested in research that is STEM, science, technology, engineering, or mathematics, but is not health related, LS-AMP would be a really good option for you. They also take seniors, so if you missed out on these programs because of your eligibility, check out LS-AMP. Their application deadline is right after hours, so you can even apply after you've been notified of your acceptance decision from BUILD, MARC and RISE. We also have the McNair Scholars Program funded by the U.S. Department of Education. This is a similar program to BUILD without the health focus. So if you're interested in a PhD that is not health related, McNair could be a good option for you. For McNair, you also need to be a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident with at least a 3.0 GPA, considered low income or first generation college student, and considered part of an underrepresented minority group. CSULB also has a research curriculum available to all students, which will help to prepare you for a research career. We're lucky enough to have Dr. Paul Benora, who has helped develop this curriculum and is also the RISE director.
In preparing for a research career, California State University Long Beach has created a research curriculum which will allow you to get the kinds of documented experience that will support your research career. The first course in this group of courses is Research Career Exploration, or University 150. This is a general education course, and it is designed for those who are considering a research career but want to explore more deeply what that would mean in terms of their future. The second course in this group of courses is Interdisciplinary Approaches to Health Disparities, or Research 207. This is also a general education course and it meets the social sciences and citizenship requirement. This course involves looking at health disparities within our society from the perspective of engineering, the natural sciences, the physical sciences, the biomedical sciences, and the social sciences. The third course in the curriculum actually has two flavors. It is Intro to Research Methods. We have the Intro to Biomedical Research Methods flavor and the Intro to Behavioral Research Methods flavor. These courses are Research 296A and 296B respectively. This course is designed to prepare people who are at the beginning of their research career in those basic principles of analysis related to the types of research that they are doing. The fourth course in the curriculum is Scientific Research Communication, or Research 361. This is a general education course and meets the capstone writing intensive requirement for students. As the title suggests, this course is designed to prepare students to be researchers by looking at developing their ability to read the current literature, write reports, both to professional and lay audiences, and to look at how we collect data and archive data within the sciences. There's also a component of the course that looks at research ethics. The last course in this set of courses is Advanced Research Methods. Like the Intro Research Methods course, this also has two flavors, the biomedical and the behavioral. These courses are Research 496A and 496B. They too meet a general education requirement, in this case the capstone advanced skills requirement. These courses are designed to train students to develop their own research projects so that they can develop projects independently and set them on the path for a successful research career. Students in these courses will look at how to develop a research idea, including looking at designing the research methods that are going to be used, looking at how you can get funding for your research through grant writing, and looking for resources to support the research that you're going to do. Students in the Biomedical Research Methods course will develop a National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship application through the course, which would be something that they can carry with them and conceivably apply to the NSF in the following year. The Research Initiative for Scientific Enhancement, or RISE program, is a National Institutes of Health funded program. It is designed, as the other programs that we're talking about today, to prepare students for a PhD study and research career. The RISE program at CSULB consists of two parts. The Undergraduate Fellows program, which we're going to talk about today, which is a 2-year program, so it doesn't matter whether you are a sophomore, junior, or senior, our real focus is on whether you have 2 years left to your degree or not. The Graduate MS to PhD Fellows program is a program designed for those students who finished their undergraduate degree and are going to pursue a master's degree before pursuing their PhD. But that's not the focus of our conversation today, so let's look at the RISE Fellows program activities. The RISE Fellows activities include recruiting, which we're doing right now. So in the Fellows program, we're interested in both CSULB students and students who are transitioning from a community college to CSULB. One of the requirements for the RISE program is that applicants have identified a research group that they are going to be working in. For CSULB students, that may mean that they are already in a group or they're going to be joining a group in the spring or summer of next year. For community college students, I encourage you to contact the RISE program directors so that we can help you to find an appropriate research group for your interest. RISE Fellows are supported on a basis of hourly pay for their time spent doing research. This is similar to work study. You may receive up to 15 hours per week in the fall and spring semesters. During the summer and when classes are not in session, you can receive pay up to 40 hours a week. The RISE program also requires that students take 2 of the courses from the CSULB research curriculum. These include Scientific Research Communication and Advanced Research Methods. Since most of the students in the RISE program are in the biomedical area, they would take the Advanced Biomedical Research Methods. As with most of the programs that are involved in developing students for research careers, the RISE program has a weekly learning community. We have an optional external summer internship. While some of the programs require that you go away for the summer, the RISE program, this is an option for you to be worked out between you and your research mentor in the RISE program. We also put a lot of emphasis on the interaction between family and the fellows and to garner family support for the RISE Fellows plan to pursue a research career. We continue our mentoring while the students are in PhD studies through our social media sites and one-on-one interactions with the former fellows. Speaking of our web presence and social media, here we see the address for the web page for the RISE program, where you can find out more information about the program. We also have a LinkedIn community and a Facebook community for current and former RISE Fellows, where students can give advice to one another and find out information related to developing a research career. If you have questions about the RISE program, please email us at rise.undergrad@csulb.edu.
Next, we're going to talk about some of the specifics of the BUILD program. But before we do that, we're going to listen to a testimonial from one of our BUILD scholars. This is Katherine Henson. Her major is organismal biology, and she works under the mentorship of Dr. Ashley Cotter.
Hi, my name is Katie Henson. I am an organismal biology major and I am a BUILD scholar. My start in BUILD was as a freshman. I heard about BUILD in a talk, and that got me really thinking about research and about graduate school, because at the time I had just started, I had just gotten out of high school, so I wasn't thinking about graduate school. But learning about BUILD made me realize that I wanted to be a part of something in my undergrad that would, first of all, I would be a part of a community, but also I would be doing something that would help me in my goal to get into graduate school. So I looked into BUILD, I started researching faculty in my department, and I noticed a match that BUILD had a faculty mentor whose research was really interesting to me, and that ended up being Dr. Ashley Cotter, whose lab I'm still in. I joined his lab in fall of 2016, and he does sexual selection research in fruit flies, which at first I wasn't sure if I was going to be that interested in, but I ended up really loving it, and I would have never known about his lab if it weren't for BUILD. And in that lab, I really grew as a person and I grew professionally, because I started out pretty timid and I started out unsure of myself or if I even wanted to do research, but as time went on, I ended up having my own project that I was responsible for, and it led to the point of summer 2017, I was doing my very own project with sole responsibility, and it ended up working out, and I'm currently writing a manuscript. So that was really amazing to me, that I was able to do research that was impactful and also hopefully contribute to the scientific literature. So BUILD has helped me every step of the way as I've continued from associate to Scholar 1 to Scholar 2. As an associate, I presented my research for the first time at the BUILD Summer Symposium, which was a great way to learn how to make a poster, which again, I would have never known how to do otherwise. There were a lot of great resources, great templates to help me present my research in front of friends and family. And as an associate, I also was a student representative, so that was a great way to get some leadership experience, which of course always looks good. Then as a Scholar 1, my research really ramped up in my lab. I was done with the training portion. I was ready to start my own project. It was a very stressful time, but BUILD was there to help me through it. I eventually did my own project in the summer of 2017, which again I presented in a BUILD symposium, and I ended up getting really exciting results that I'm now writing in a manuscript. And of course, if you can get an undergraduate publication, that looks absolutely great for graduate school, and BUILD will help guide you along, the process of writing a manuscript and supporting you emotionally, because it is quite a task. Also, that year, 2017, in November, I went to AberCams, which is really exciting. That's a conference that BUILD encourages you to go to as a Scholar 1. And there, I networked with a lot of really great schools. I found out about their graduate programs and what they're looking for. And it was a great time to connect with all my other BUILD friends and really just build up this friendship we already had, which is such an important part of BUILD, is being part of a community with other people who are the same as you, maybe come from similar backgrounds to you, have the same goals. And that was really kindled at AberCams. And then as a Scholar 2, I was supported to go to a conference, which I went to in January of 2018. That was a professional conference in my field where I was able to present my research to other evolutionary biologists, which was a very exciting time for me because at that point my main research project was already completed, so I was able to give them the final product. In summer of 2018, I had my summer undergraduate research experience, which is a part of Scholars 2. I had the amazing opportunity to spend my summer at UCI doing some really cool research with zebra finches. I had a project that I was responsible for. I did within that 8 weeks of summer, and it ended up being something that I'm continuing to work on. I go to UCI on the weekends, and I've built a great connection with my faculty mentor there. Another part of Scholars 2 is getting ready for graduate school, to apply and reach out to faculty, which BUILD has been a great help in getting everything organized, because honestly, I think a lot of people are pretty bad at getting organized, are prone to procrastination like I am, and otherwise would have never prepared all these things like a CV, a statement of purpose, had BUILD not been there to guide them. So I'm really grateful to BUILD for helping me get things going for graduate school and helping me prepare everything I need for the application process. So in short, if you're considering doing research as an undergrad, I highly recommend going through BUILD. BUILD has been a fundamental part of my undergraduate experience, and it's really connected me with some amazing people and opportunities. As I near graduation, I see just how much PhD programs value undergraduate research, and especially how much they value diverse people and experiences. Another thing to consider is that there's really great research happening on our campus, and undergrads are the forefront of it. So I highly recommend taking this great opportunity to do undergraduate research and to be supported along the way in so many ways, and I hope to see many more generations of BUILD in the future.
Now let's talk about BUILD. This is a picture of 2 of our first cohorts. As you can see, it's a really big group, which I think is one of BUILD's best assets. When you join BUILD, you're joining a large family. Everyone in this family has similar career aspirations and is following the same career path. BUILD really gives you a great support system so you can achieve your goals. So what is BUILD? Much like the other programs, BUILD is an intensive research and training program for undergraduate students interested in pursuing a career and a PhD in any health-related topic. We are funded by the National Institutes of Health, so our research topics all will have some kind of health focus. One way BUILD separates itself is that we accept not only students from the College of Natural Science and Mathematics and the College of Engineering, but also students from the College of Health and Human Services and Liberal Arts. We are training biomedical and behavioral researchers, so there's lots of opportunities for interdisciplinary collaborations and partnerships within the program. We define health-related as research that seeks to improve health and well-being, so that allows us to have a ton of different research topics that are eligible as health-related. It also does not matter what major or what department you are from within those 4 colleges, as long as you're interested in doing some type of health-related research. So which program is right for you? We have 2 divisions with 2 separate applications within BUILD, for students with 2 and 1 year remaining before they graduate starting in June. We also fund a cohort of lower division UROP students with the attention of those students applying to BUILD the following year. So you can decide which program to apply to based on how many years you have until graduation starting in June. If you have 3 years until graduation, you are likely a freshman and can apply to the UROP-BUILD cohort and then apply to BUILD as a sophomore. If you have 2 years remaining, you are likely a sophomore and can apply directly to the BUILD Scholars Program with no experience needed. If you have 1 year remaining, you are likely a junior and can apply to the BUILD Fellows Program, but you already need to have research experience. But if you're watching this video in the fall semester, you still have time to connect with a BUILD mentor and gain the required 1 semester of research experience with a BUILD mentor during your spring semester to qualify. The Scholars Program is a 2-year research training experience for mostly sophomores and some juniors, but the key is that you have 2 years remaining before you graduate starting in June of 2018. This is the full BUILD program with the full benefits, the full research experience, and the full advanced degree application prep. Scholars get paid a monthly stipend and are eligible for partial tuition coverage. They will start participating in a full-time 8-week research experience with their mentors from June to July. They also have conference travel paid for so they can present their research. They, along with other BUILD students, will participate in a 1-unit learning community, and they work part-time with their mentors in the fall and spring semesters for about 20 hours per week. The exact hours you'll have to work out with your mentor. All BUILD students are required to take at least one of the research curriculum courses. The 2 upper division courses are Scientific Research Communication and Advanced Research Methods. Again, almost all of these courses are GEs, so they'll likely count towards your major, and they might even be required to be taken anyway. We also have the new expanded Fellows program for current juniors or students with 1 year remaining as of June. I call it expanded because this application season, we have many more spots for this cohort than we've had in previous years, so it's easier than ever to become a BUILD Fellow. This program requires students have previous research experience on a research team. Unfortunately, online experience does not qualify. If you don't have research experience and you're watching this video in the fall semester, you're in luck. You can still become eligible for this program by joining the research team of a BUILD mentor before the start of the spring semester. That way, you'll have at least 1 full semester of experience when you start the program in June. The BUILD website's mentor section at csulb.edu/buildmentors is the best place to find potential BUILD mentors. This is a searchable database of over 100 mentors that has descriptions of research, contact information, everything you'll need to connect with a mentor right away. You'll want to contact potential mentors by email or by visiting their research lab or office hours to inquire about becoming a research assistant and applying to the BUILD program before the deadline in March. Once you become a BUILD Fellow, the training activities are almost identical to that of the Scholars. You'll participate in a learning community, a full-time 8-week research experience starting in June, and work for about 15 to 20 hours per week. BUILD Fellows receive an hourly salary for their research time as well. You are required to take at least one of the university's research curriculum courses. The upper division courses are Scientific Research Communication and Advanced Research Methods. Finally, UROP, or the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program, is a 1-year program for freshmen and sophomores. UROP is generally a federal work-study program, and normally UROP students will be work-study, but students in UROP-BUILD do not have to have a federal work-study award. Students will work as a research assistant for 6 to 12 hours per week and are paid an hourly salary for their research time. Each student is assigned a peer advisor who has served as a previous UROP research assistant. There is a 1-unit research seminar similar to our BUILD learning communities for your professional development as a researcher that takes place on Mondays from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. or 5:50 to 7 p.m. For more information on UROP, please visit the link on the slide below. That link is also on the downloadable PDF fact sheet. You can also contact UROP at urop@csulb.edu if you have any questions. Now I'm going to introduce Chantra, who is going to represent the MARC program.
Hello, I am Chantra Nian. Maximizing Access to Research Careers, Undergraduate Student Training in Academic Research, or MARC U STAR for short, is an NIH/NIGMS T34 research training program that aims to increase the number of highly trained underrepresented biomedical and behavioral scientists in leadership positions to significantly impact the health-related research needs of the nation by preparing students for doctoral studies in biomedical or behavioral sciences. MARC U STAR is a 2-year boutique-style program where you'll join 9 other students from the College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics and the College of Liberal Arts, spanning majors in chemistry, biochemistry, biology, physics, and psychology. MARC U STAR is guided by 4 specific objectives. Objective 1, Elevated Academic and Educational Goals, sets expectations for students to be enrolled in and complete an honors program at CSULB. Students must also complete a research proposal and an honors thesis with the guidance of their research mentor. To support students with their academic and educational goals, MARC students are given priority registration. Objective 2, Enhanced Research Experience, requires students to participate in intramural on-campus research and extramural off-campus research. Students will spend 1 summer semester, 2 fall semesters, and 2 spring semesters in a mentored research lab at CSULB, conducting hypothesis-driven research, reporting research progress to a thesis committee each semester, and completing oral presentations. Students will also spend 1 summer in an 8 to 12-week off-campus research-intensive environment, all expenses paid. Objective 3, Professional and Leadership Development, provides students with mandatory weekly meetings. Meetings include, but are not limited to, research presentations, dissecting research articles, CV and resume development, personal statement preparation, interview techniques, ethics in research, and individualized development plans. Objective 4, Graduate School Preparation, provides students with honing their skills in graduate application review and preparation, mock interviews, selecting graduate programs and mentors, GRE preparation, and NIH and NSF Fellowship Review and Development. In order to support students for the 2-year commitment, MARC U STAR provides students with a monthly stipend, partial tuition coverage, support for off-campus summer research experiences, research supplies funds for research mentors, and travel to conferences. Our program alumni have entered a wide range of PhD programs such as biology at University of Washington, chemistry at the University of California, Merced, and chemistry at the University of Michigan. If you're looking for an intimate setting to complete your research training program, we highly recommend that you apply for the MARC U STAR program.
Thank you, Chantra, for covering the MARC specifics. If you'd like more information on the MARC program, you can visit the MARC U STAR website at the link below, or you can contact the program coordinator, Cynthia Alarcon, at cynthia.alarcon@csulb.edu. The other MARC program personnel include CSUB faculty Dr. Visante Narayanaswamy, Program Director, Dr. Jason Swans, Co-Director, and Yvette Castellano, Fiscal Coordinator. These programs all share one application. So when you apply to one, you're applying to all of them. You might get into one program, you might get into all 3. You can indicate your preference as to which program you'd like to apply to, but you don't have to. If you don't, we'll try to fit you into the program that we feel works best for you. If you do indicate your preference and don't get into your preferred program, you will still be considered for the other 2 programs. So it's a 3-for-1 deal. You'll likely need to start getting your application together right away. Ask your teachers for a letter of recommendation as early as possible. At least 1 month or more is standard for the amount of time you want to give a professor to write your letter. It usually helps to provide them with details about yourself, your interests, so they can write a better letter about you. The application deadline for all programs is due Friday, March 1st at 11:59 p.m. Your application must be submitted online at that time, although your letters of recommendation may arrive at least 1 business day after the deadline by 4:30 p.m. That would be Monday, March 4th. Instructions for all of this and more are on the application. Sometime in March, you'll do face-to-face interviews, you'll be notified if you're accepted in April, and you'll start the program in June if you are accepted. All the applications for all of these programs are available at csulb.edu/build/apply. On that webpage is an even more detailed checklist of everything that you'll need to apply, and application support is available by emailing either Nicole Stryker or me, Alex Garbonati. Our emails are on the downloadable info session fact sheet. An expected graduation date form will need to be signed by your counselor and turned in with your application, so schedule a meeting with your counselor as soon as possible. This meeting is also beneficial for students that are unsure of their expected graduation date. Transfers not yet attending CSULB classes do not need to include this form. You'll also need your college transcripts, degree planner, and financial aid award letter, if applicable, which is all available at your MyCSULB account. Instructions for how to use your MyCSULB account are on the apply page, csulb.edu/build/apply. You'll need to write a personal statement about yourself and a research interest statement. Those statements will need to be 500 to 1,000 words. One of the factors in reviewing your application is trying to determine your potential as a researcher. So yes, your grades are important, but also your passion for research, your drive, and your diversity of experience that we talked about earlier all plays an important role. So in your personal statements and your interview, those are your chances to separate yourself beyond your grades. You'll also need 2 faculty recommendations, 2 letters are needed, and at least one will need to come from a CSULB professor. The other letter can come from anyone that has overseen you in a supervisory role. Lastly, don't forget, if you select RISE as your preference, you do need to indicate which mentor you'll be working with and obtain a letter of support and acceptance into their lab from that professor. So that was the CSULB Build, MARC, and RISE online information session. Thank you for watching today. I hope you all are excited to do research, excited to go on to advanced degrees, and I really hope that these programs can help you achieve your goals. Again, don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions about anything. Good luck to you and go Beach!